Hey guys, it's Yvette coming to you with another cooking video. So welcome to Yvette Cooks. Welcome to my kitchen. I just want to show you how I make my whole wheat bread. A couple weeks ago, about I think it's 2 weeks ago, I uploaded a video on how to make white bread, and I'm going to attach that video on this one so that you can watch it. So the recipe here, I tweak it a little bit, and I also use like a different method to mix it. So yeah, if you're interested in seeing how I make my whole wheat bread at home without machines, without any complicated equipment, so just the old-fashioned way, and the bread tastes really good. So stay tuned if you want to see how I make my whole wheat bread at home. So I'm gonna start by showing you the ingredients. I'm gonna use 2 eggs in this recipe, and on my white bread I used 1 egg, so 1 egg is still fine. Then I just have a little bit of white all-purpose flour at the side. I'm gonna show you how to use that one. Then I have half a cup of all-purpose flour. Then I have 3 cups of whole wheat flour, and I have a cup of warm milk, and you can substitute milk with water actually. Then I have quick rice yeast. This is actually instant yeast. And I also have some brown sugar. You can substitute this with white sugar. I have some salt here, and I have cooking oil. My choice of cooking oil today is grapeseed oil. Then I have a bowl, of course, and I have my measuring spoons. So I'm gonna use a different method today just to help some people who had a little bit of hard time trying to combine dry ingredients with the rising of the dough with my previous recipe. So this one, I'm gonna start by activating my yeast. So if you're using regular yeast, just know that it's gonna take a longer time for your dough to rise, but this is quick rise yeast. But I'm going to activate the yeast yet, so this is gonna be like a different method. So I'm just gonna pour my my warm milk into a bowl like this one. I just want to make sure that your milk is warm enough to be able to activate your yeast. So your yeast needs that warmth to be able to rise. So if you use cold, you're gonna have some problems with that. So if you're able to dip your finger into the milk for up to 10 seconds, then it's good, right? You don't want it to be too hot to kill the yeast, but you also don't want it to be cold that it will not activate the yeast. So I'm going to be using 2 teaspoons of yeast there. I'm just going to put it into that warm milk. Then I'm just going to let the seed at the side. I'm going to mix it. So if you're using like regular yeast, yeah, this part is really important to make sure that your yeast is activated. So it's important that you just leave it in your warm milk or warm water, and just keep that to the side. So while that yeast is being activated, I will get the dry ingredients together. So this is my 3 cups of whole wheat flour. I'm just gonna put it in the bowl. Then I'm gonna put in my half a cup of all-purpose flour in there. And I'm gonna add 2 tablespoons of sugar. So like I said earlier, you can use white sugar, but I'm gonna use brown sugar. I'm gonna do 2 heaping tablespoons there. And I'm gonna use 1 teaspoon of salt there. So while I'm waiting for my yeast to activate, I'm just gonna mix that a little bit. It's kind of hard to mix this yeast to be smooth, but yeah, just get it, but it's getting activated really nicely. So while I'm waiting for that that to my yeast to activate, I'm gonna put my wet ingredients together. So in a bowl, I'm going to crack my egg. Then I'm gonna add my oil into the egg. I'm doing 2 tablespoons of grapeseed oil. Then I'm gonna beat those two together. You also want to make sure that your egg is at room temperature, because if your egg is too cold, then it's gonna prevent that yeast from rising properly. So you want to make sure your egg is not directly from the fridge. Keep it out of the fridge for a couple of hours before you start this process. And one of the things I've learned is if I forgot to take my egg out of the fridge, I just take it and put it in warm water for like 30 minutes. Then you bring it to room temperature, not in very hot water, just warm water. Yeah, so beat those together. So that's good. So let's see how yeast is doing. The yeast is all nicely mixed now, but I'm just still gonna let it sit there for a minute while I mix my dry ingredients. So I'm just gonna use my clean hands to mix these dry ingredients. Okay, all my dry ingredients are nicely mixed now, and I think I've activated my yeast enough. I'm just gonna add my egg and my oil into the yeast. Mix that together. Look at that. Then I'll pour all of this into my dry ingredients. Then using my clean hand, I'm gonna mix together to form a dough. So I have a sticky dough right here, and I'm gonna transfer this onto a clean surface and knead it. So I'm just gonna clean my surface. And when I was making my white bread, I used a chopping board, but it was very inconvenient. So I'm just gonna clean the surface and use it as my clean surface to knead my dough on it. So here I have water and vinegar in this spray bottle, and I'm just gonna spray this surface and wipe it with a paper towel. I'm gonna go ahead and wash my hands and transfer the dough onto the surface. Okay, my hands are all nicely washed. Then this little flour I told you about, I'm just gonna use that to sprinkle on my surface, just a little bit at a time, and then transfer my dough there. And then just knead. So my goal of kneading this dough is to bring it into a smooth, nice, smooth consistency. And I also believe that when you knead like that, you're also activating that yeast. I don't know if that's true, but so you're kneading and then just sprinkling a little bit of all-purpose flour on the surface and a little bit on the dough. You know that it was a little bit sticky in the pan. So when you knead up to a point where it's no longer as sticky. If you have a stand mixer that can mix dough, this will save you a lot of energy trying to knead this. But I like the old-fashioned way sometimes, because old-fashioned means that everybody can make bread at home without special machines. So my bread is nicely knit now, guys. So I'm just gonna let it sit on here but I'm gonna sprinkle some flour on the surface just so that it doesn't stick. Now cover it with my clean kitchen cloth and let that sit here for 10 minutes. Then I'm gonna come back and then show you the next thing to do. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay guys, so it's been 10 minutes, so I'll remove my cloth and then look at what the dough looks like. I'm just gonna knead it a little bit more, just for a few more seconds. Then I'm just gonna roll it, like open it with a roller. Is that even what this is called? I don't know. Okay, so I'm gonna roll it like that into the shape of my bread pan. Tuck those ends in there. Tuck those ends in there as well. So depending on the size of your bread pan, you want to roll this to the size of your bread pan. So this is my bread pan right here. It's my glass baking pan, and I'm just putting it alongside to see if it can fit. If it's not gonna fit, if this is longer than my pan, then I'm just gonna press the ends like that and just roll it to a size that is gonna fit into my pan. Okay, so I think this can fit into my pan. So I'm gonna put it, this side that I rolled is gonna be at the bottom, and then this smooth one is gonna be at the top. Oops, I think it's a little bit longer for my pan. In there. See, look at that, guys. So I'm just gonna let this sit here. I'll cover it first. So I'm gonna let this sit here and continue to rise. I'll let it rise for another 45 to 50 minutes. Then I'll come back and bake it. So meanwhile, I don't want to turn my stove on now. Halfway, like in 25 minutes, I'll turn my stove to 375 degrees Celsius to just get it ready, because that's the temperature under which I'm gonna bake this bread. So yeah, I'll be right back. Okay guys, I think I waited for more than 50 minutes and it looks like this bread has risen so much. Look at that. It's all risen. So for this one, I waited longer. I don't know why. I was just busy. And that is to say that you can wait longer than 50 minutes. So I actually waited for like an hour and 20 minutes and it's fully risen. So this is nicely risen, and I have my oven set at 375. It's already ready. So I'm just gonna put this into the oven and I'm gonna bake it, take it out, and then you will see what it looks like when it's fully baked. It usually would bake for like 30 minutes. So I will be back in 30 minutes to show you the final results. Okay guys, so it's been 30 minutes and I'm gonna take this bread out of the oven, then we can both see what it looks like. Ta-da! So there's your whole wheat bread. It's nicely baked, and yeah, and already just turning it around for you to see. Look at the bottom. So I'm gonna let this cool down, then I'll come back and slice it so that you can see what it looks like on the inside. Okay, I'll be back. Okay guys, so the bread has cooled down and I took it out of the pan, and I'm just gonna cut it or slice it so that you can see what it looks like, so we can both see what it looks like on the inside. Look at that. Oh my goodness. It's so soft, guys. Look at that. Oh my. I want to bring it closer to the camera so you can see. Look. so beautiful. So that's how I make my whole wheat bread at home, guys. If you try this recipe, please let me know. And if you have any difficulties with following the recipe, please also leave me a comment below and let me know. And I'll kind of see if I can try and help you. And I did mention that if you're using a different kind of yeast, because the yeast that I used is instant yeast. So if you're using regular yeast, it might take a little bit longer for your bread to rise. And yeah, so just when you try this recipe, please, I would like to know how it worked out for you. And if you like this video, please share it. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do so. I do have a lot of good stuff coming to this channel. And I want to thank everybody who has subscribed to this channel so far. Thanks again. I also have 2 other channels, and I'm going to link the links below so you can check. I have channels that I show people how to do their own hair like I did mine. And I also share messages because I'm a Christian and I like to encourage people. I also have a home remedy, natural home remedy channel as well. So I'm linking those to this channel so that you can check them out if you want to see. Thanks again for watching this video, and I will see you in my next video. God bless you and have a fantastic week. Bye.